Today we'll be reading from James Howard Kunstler, When the Birdies Sing Like the Fat Lady. Spring is popping now with a ferocious energy that can only remind the sullenly sequestered masses that life is going on without them. Every living thing is busy making and doing out there, except the pure humans, idled without work or purpose. That won't last long. People don't submit automatically to zombification when some pissant bureaucrats issue them $1,200 checks. They yearn to bust out like everything else on this living planet. And if they can't do it in a good way, well, the mega machine we constructed to drive this society has sucked a valve and thrown a rod. The machine is broken no matter how much fuel the mechanics pump in. One suspects somebody might have topped it off with Caro syrup. Anyway, the machine got too big and too complex with too many extraneous bells and whistles, and with way too many computerized cybernetic control built in. So the mechanics barely noticed it was coming apart. They were too busy partying. The big machine is soldering in a ditch for the moment. The dazed and bloodied passengers realize the ride is over and now they must march on to get somewhere else, anywhere, away from this miserable ditch and the wreckage in it. This fine spring weather is their only consolation. And so here we are at a fraught moment in the convergent crises of coronavirus and the floundering economic system that it infected with all its frightful pre existing conditions. Of course, it isn't capitalism, so called, that is failing, but the perversions of capitalism, starting with the appendage of the troublesome term ism. It isn't a religion or even a pseudo religion like Zoroastrianism or communism. It's simply the management system for surplus wealth. In a hyper-complex society, the management of wealth naturally grows hyper-complex too, with lavish opportunities and temptations for chicanery, cheating, fraud, and swindling, the perversions of capital. It's in the interest of the managers to cloak all that hyper-complex perversity in opaque language to make it seem okay. How many ordinary Americans have a clue what all the municipal liquidity facilities, primary dealer credit facilities, primary and secondary market corporate credit facilities, money market, mutual fund liquidity facilities, Main Street new loan facilities and expanded loan facilities, commercial paper funding facilities, currency swap lines, the TALFs, TARPs, PPPs, SPVs represent, besides the movement by keystrokes of money from one netherworld to another, both conveniently located on Wall Street, usually to the loss of non elite citizens generally, and to their offspring's offspring's offspring. Real capital is grounded in the production of real things of real value, of course. And when it's detached from that, it's no longer really capital. Money represents capital, and when the capital isn't real, the money represents nothing and ceases to be real money. Just now, America is producing almost nothing except money, money in quantities that stupefy the imagination, trillions here, there, and everywhere. The trouble is that money is vanishing as fast as it's being created. That's because it's based on promises to be paid back into existence that will never be kept, on top of primer promises to pay back money that were broken or are in the process of breaking. The net result is that money is actually disappearing faster than it can be created, even in vast quantities. All this sounds like metaphysical bullshit, I suppose, but we are obviously watching money disappear. Your paycheck is gone. The activity you started, a brew pub, a gym, an ad agency, no longer produce revenue. The HR department at the giant company you work for told you, don't bother coming into the office tomorrow, or possibly ever again. Your bills are piling up. The numbers in your bank account run to zero. That sure smells like money disappearing. Wait until the pension checks and the snap cards mysteriously stop landing in the mailbox. There is going to be a lot of trouble. Ordinary Americans are going to get super pissed if money doesn't disappear from the stock markets too. They've seen this movie before. They know for sure that they were played, that the class of people who hold most of the stocks are doing just fine while everybody stares into that old abyss staring back at them. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near the Hamptons on that fateful day. All this because we can't face the task of reorganizing our national home economics to suit new circumstances. So, nature will do it for us. Nature will furnish us with a marvelously efficient black hole where we can conveniently stash our fake money so we'll never have to see it again. Nature will bust up our giant institutions, our giant corporations, our giant networks of financial obligations, and, after a period of confusion and social disorder, some clever humans will aggregate into smaller networks and reorganize their activities on a smaller scale that actually supports truthful relationships between the production of things deemed to hold value and money that represents those things. The beauty of springtime is sublime, and as Edmund Burke noted, that very beauty provokes our thoughts of pain and terror. This has been When the Birdies Sing Like the Fat Lady by James Howard Kunstler.